what people are saying is like they're not as big as in Japan as they are in the US. I don't know how true that is. Well,
I think it's
according to
fairly.
Ray, he says that's the case, and according to
Yeah.
some interview questions, like from Nemophila, they were saying it's not as big over there. And I can't remember. I think there was a
Didn't.
question we asked, right, that was similar to
Yeah.
that, and they
Yeah.
said
And
it's not as big over
didn't
there.
Akane say
Also,
that? That
yeah,
it's not that popular,
it's
like
not
in
that
Japan.
popular.
That's so
Not,
interesting.
yeah. I get a lot of people that comment on mine from Japan, like, thanks for introducing me to this band. I'm like, what? You're welcome.
I mean, that's like sort of like the whole problem, right? Like, because I think about BAND-MAID, right? And like the demographic that they target, and like how they can become, this band of a generation, which is what I think we believe that they can be, right? And if you look at America, this music just doesn't exist. It's just not it's not out there. It's not popular. If it is out there, nobody really knows about it. And it hasn't been for decades at this point, right? Like rock and roll music. Obviously BAND-MAID is integrated a lot of sort of progressive sounds, also progressive rock, progressive metal into their classic rock and roll field. But I still ultimately, at the end of the day, consider them to be a modernized classic rock band. And classic rock just isn't here, man. Like the people that are listening to it are us, the people that knew that it existed back then and are still enjoying it from that perspective.
But the differences we saw in the demographic at the live shows is kind of significant, I think. I think maybe because they're not old guys that are trying to hang on to their fitness playing this kind of music, that it brought in some younger people to hopefully, I mean, it could get them into other shit they hadn't thought of listening to, So I think as right as you are, there's also the fact that there was a surprising amount of young people at the shows.
Yeah.
I saw a more younger crowd at New Jersey show. I think that's the most youngest I saw.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
I think that ultimately, like, it's not a problem with the music or the bands, or it's a problem with God. This could get, I'm not going to get totally psychological on you guys, but I really think that it has more to do with what is popular in the mainstream, the zeitgeist, removing that style of music from it so long ago that nobody is interested in bringing it back. But if they were exposed to it, I do believe that if people were exposed to it, then it would create new fans. I mean, there's a reason that you can look at the top 40 stations on FM radio and they're all shitting the bed right now. Like FM radio, I don't even know how much longer it can last. It doesn't get any viewership, doesn't get any listeners anymore. We've all moved on to like Spotify and Apple, iTunes, blah, 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 right? They play the same fucking songs that they've been playing for the last 10 years, and they're all just the same goddamn pop songs, and it never changes. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe if they did throw in something that was a little bit more unique to what the times are saying is acceptable, right? Maybe if they did throw in fucking Manners on Z100 one day, you know what I mean? Maybe people will be like, oh shit, what was that? And be more intrigued by it and listen to it. And maybe it would change what is popular in mainstream.
So Vladimir, by the way, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. I didn't even know you could do that. So thank you for showing us that. That was awesome. Thank you so much for the support. He says, come on, good music is just good music. It's not about the age of the fans. Maybe it's just that older or more knowledge and tend to appreciate good music more. And I just want to say this. It's better to always have a diverse age range, in my opinion. We were talking about it. Let's end on a positive note here. The greatest thing is that the band realizes that also, because we saw that firsthand at the shows. They went up to the younger generation, passed out stuff specifically to them. So that just lays that seed, meaning they're going to show their friends, because now those kids are going to really appreciate the band more. They're like, oh, wow, they're going to remember that they got that drumstick or that pick. So I think it's always good to get younger fans involved and older fans and middle age. We always forget our age group. I guess us too.
But I mean, we're going to die eventually. You know what I mean? Like, eventually we are going to die, right? And I want my son's generation to take that mantle and spread
it. So the good thing that BAND-MAID did was did that during their shows. They made an effort to recognize the younger fans that were at the crowd, and I think that'll spread it along, and that's really cool. Like SJ Nix just said in the chat, also older fans are going to spend more money. That helps support the band. So this is why I think you need diverse crowd.
You need both.
You need both. You need everyone. You need
but
everyone.
There is
to
a
like the
reason.
band.
But there is a reason that like advertising companies and marketing companies go after the 18 to 34. Because
it's for the long term.
They're going to live longer.
They're going to live longer for the long term. I get that.
Because it's great. We are going to spend money. 18-year-olds aren't spending money, right? But the target demographic for advertisers and marketers, and I'm not saying that this is even necessarily right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what it is. They're looking for that age group more than any other age group.
True.
Because they know that they're going to grow and they're going to continue enjoying this, and then they're going to be getting jobs, and then they're going to be spending their money.
You still need base support,
and they're going to do the same thing, right? So it's a big cycle that's ongoing. And if it stops with us, then it goes away forever. And we don't want to let that happen, right?
Yeah,
so it's not about how old we are now or how much money we're spending now, but we're looking towards the future, and we want it to keep going forever.
Yeah, exactly. My point was just you need a diverse group, and marketers will focus on that, and then you still need the base money to support it in the beginning, because if you don't have that base money to support them in the beginning. So I think it's going in the right trajectory, and I think the band realizes it too. And they're adding in more of the future or modern elements of music in their newer songs, right? We've been hearing more of a mix with beats and stuff in the background, a little bit more flows or talk, speaking, rap, whatever you want to call it. I love that they're adding more modern stuff to the new music, and I think that is just going to do nothing but help the band grow that audience also that Champ's talking about.
Yeah, and just keep spreading it for like everybody. Like just keep spreading it to everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's from our perspective. Don't let it stop at us. Tell the person next to you about. Yeah,
because there's an interesting thing that my son brought up to me. I forgot. You guys just reminded me. He came up to me. He's all like, he was watching this TikTok that was showing bands, and I hate to say this, I'm just letting you guys know this is what kids think of BAND-MAID right now, according to TikTok. This is according to TikTok. It says like which each group attracts, and it literally said the joke is they showed BAND-MAID on there and it said middle-aged white men. And like my son Chris showed this to me. He's all like, "Hey, aren't like they attract pedophiles?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, there's this TikTok that says that." And just letting you guys know that's a thing that's out there, and it's out there for a reason. And I think as fans, we should like protect like the music side of it. Like, hey, this is really good music. It's more than this. Because Chris, my son, he was like, I love the music, but I'm just letting you know this. I thought this was interesting because I told them about you and your channel, and they're, how kids are. They make fun of each other. They're like, oh, well, your dad, blah blah blah, and they send them this. So it's just something to keep in mind.
That's why it's good to see that diversity in the, with the live shows.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I wanted to keep spreading. To the younger generation. Hard Bros says don't trust TikTok, but let me explain something to you real quick, Hard Bros. As a man with a 14-year-old son who is on TikTok literally all day.
Yes, all my kids are on it.
It is dictating everything about their lives right now. Their style, the music that they listen to, the forms of entertainment that they get. TikTok right now is way bigger than any of the other social media when it comes to influence on that generation, man. So TikTok is a bunch of bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a bunch of fake people doing fake shit. Sometimes it's funny, but
can't deny that shit though.
No, it does exist, and it is happening, and it does have this huge influence over that generation. So
that's why
we have to take it seriously to an extent.
That's why the Gaijin Guys podcast is considering doing the TikTok thing and putting up short clips of this podcast, because how else are we going to spread music? Because younger generations because think about it, YouTube shorts, reels, and then TikTok, like TikTok has more of a ring to it. It's just, it makes sense why they go to that more overall. It's just, it's all about marketing when you go in there.
For more Gaijin goodies like you just saw, be sure to subscribe to the Gaijin Guys podcast and turn on all notifications to be part of the live stream every Sunday. You can also find us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, etc. You can find even more exclusive content and reactions on our Patreon, patreon.com/Gaijin Guys. I'll see you there. Adios.